those of you who aspire to have your lawn look like a golf course, you want some thatch management. You want to make the most out of the fertilizer that you put on the lawn. You want to condition it to where it is the most able to survive the heat and stress of summer. I can tell you, in doing this for nearly 4 decades, the most important thing you can do to your lawn is air fund. We're going to talk about aerification in this video. They're actually doing it here at Stonewall Jackson Lake State Park, the one I did with the Palmer Group. This was my last golf course construction project, and I'm really excited to be here to show you what they are doing, and I'm also going to show you what I do to the lawns that I have here on the channel. We're going to go over the benefits of aerification, how important it is, and a lot of this to do with a lot of other things such as thatch and many other things on YouTube. I can tell you this is the most important thing, and there's a lot of folks that are just not doing it. Really, you can do it for less than a cost of a bag of fertilizer in most situations. So let's get started.
For those of you not familiar, in the lower left, we have an fairway aerification. There in the center, I'm doing the yard last year with an aerifier I got from a rental store. In the upper right, we're needle tine aerifying a green. Now, the results, the lower left is what the core, you're taking a core out of the fairway. Same thing in the middle there where I did to the yard, and the needle tine there at the top. Now, that's some top dressing too. We're going to talk about top dressing as well in this video. So just give you an idea what this looks like and what it does to your lawn.
Often get asked, does it make sense to just take a solid tine and push it into the ground? Yes, it actually does. What that does is it does open up the soil a little bit. And I like to do this during the stressful times, particularly during the summer. Don't want to open it up too much because what you want to do is you simply want to just get a small, tiny tine into the ground. Just any pencil-sized tine just to open that up and get that soil and that surface to breathe a little bit and allow that water to penetrate. So whenever you have stressed turf, that's not a bad move at all, particularly during stressful times. I know a lot of YouTubers say subscribe and hit the bell, but I say it for a reason. I have almost 4 decades of golf course and turfgrass management experience. I started my channel 3 years ago, and what I do each year is I keep my videos very topical. I create a video on a topic that you need to be looking at: fertility, weed control, wetting agents, summer stress relief. I do it 2 weeks before you need to start thinking about doing those things, so that way you can time it perfectly and have the best possible lawn. The reason why I got into this business is I like to see the fruits of my labor. And if I can help you pull up to your house, look at your yard and say, hey, look what I did. If I can be a part of that, that's really rewarding for me. And that's why I've started the channel. That's why I'm enjoying it so much. So if you subscribe and hit notifications, you'll get a heads up of things you need to be doing. And I can tell you, in almost 4 decades of doing this, timing is everything. So subscribe and hit the bell. Is aerification a good time to amend the soil? Absolutely. If you need to change your pH, first of all, I'm going to leave a QR code right here. This is where you can go to a website. It tells you anywhere in the United States for each state of where you can get a soil test from an unbiased source from your local land grant university. That is the best place to get a soil test, bar none, from any other things. A lot of these marketing or commercial soil labs will kind of give you an idea. They generally are steering you to the direction of their products. I'm not saying their products are bad or anything. It's just better off to get it from an unbiased source. It's a lot less complicated uh, and convoluted with some of the instructions that they give. There's also, these are using good extractants, meaning how they are actually physically taking the nutrients out of your soil to actually and give you an analysis of exactly what needs to be amended to it. So go to your local university and get that done. I highly, highly recommend that. Now, potassium, that is the last number on the fertilizer bag, and that is really immobile in soils. Whenever you put it on the soil, particularly in turf grass, it's kind of stuck at the top. Agriculture, they can go out, they can actually till that in, but we can't do that. This is our only opportunity. We have to till lime, sulfur if your pH is too high, potassium. You can also put phosphorus out this time. So take your soil test. This is why I'm doing this video now, because here we are, early April. Get your soil test, get your results back. And I do recommend aerification 2 weeks prior to onset of stress. And the reason being is those your your turf has an ability to go ahead and heal. Your soil has the ability to go ahead and heal a couple weeks before that onset of stress. And those holes are open at their maximum point, if you will, just prior to that stress. You're getting the most benefit. So, yes, put out your fertilizer, put out your lime or your sulfur, and for higher pHs. Do it now. It's a great time to do it. Dragging in cores like this gentleman's doing on the fairway is so important because when you get that material drug in, that allows that looser material to stay in there, allowing water to infiltrate and good air exchange between the atmosphere and your soil. It's critical not only to help the microbacteria grow and have a good environment, but actually the turf to breathe during the really hot times during the summer. Top dressing. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of how golf courses do it, sports fields here in a second. Do you need to do that to a home lawn? No, you don't. A lot of guys level. If you guys want to level, it's not my thing. It seems like it's a lot of work. And some of the guys that are very high end, and granted, if you're cutting your grass at half an inch, and yeah, okay, lawn leveling starts making a little bit more sense. I do mention top dressing here in this video because they were doing it on golf courses. I'm telling you how they do it, and it is good. It is a great way to manage thatch. However, quickly on thatch. Have a thatch video. You guys want more into it, exactly what the benefits of it, how much you need and how much you don't need. I will say, I've seen, I don't know how many YouTube videos, guys going out and dethatching tall fescue and ryegrass. Tall fescue and ryegrass will not get thatched. They won't do it, but bent grass will. And there's other, Bermuda grass can too because they have stolons. Pardon me, bent grass. We have bent grass greens has rhizomes and stolons, and those structures are very complex. So, yes, if you do have a thatch, and that's why I left this in here as far as top dressing and aerification, in my opinion, is a lot. You can do a lot more for thatch accumulation with that than actually dethatching your lawn. So, here's my spiel a little bit about how we do it on golf courses and a little bit of what I know about sports fields. Now, what's used here is silica sand, which is a high-end sand, it's a specialized sand. And the reason why we use it on golf courses, silica is basically the base. It's as broke down as it possibly can. So therefore, the structure and the angularity, yes, we even get that technical at times. The angularity of that is a certain level of exactly what we want. On home lawns, it's not quite as critical because here and with sports turf as well, we're dealing with a playing surface. Particularly the baseball guys, they are really got this top dressing dialed into a science on sports turf. But what that light top dressing does, it creates a better environment for those microbes to break down that thatch layer. So this is what really is a part of a management strategy, not only for a good putting surface in golf or a rolling surface in soccer or baseball, we're also creating that good thatch breakdown area there with that light top dressing. The air fryer that I use, I just got it from a local rental place. That's about it. I think I used it for the weekend, best 110 bucks I spent. Uh, and they come with 3/4 inch tines, and you can run over your lawn as much as you want to. The more the better. You are really not taking out a whole lot if you do one pass. I encourage you to do at least 3. I think that's what I did. The other little trick or whatever you wanna do, you ideally wanna do this at a time where the soil has gotten a decent amount of rain within the last 48 hours or so. And the reason being is you want it a little soft. You don't want it too soft, and it will penetrate. Now, my Bermuda grass lawn, heads up on this, guys. Sometimes those stolons are so and that is so there's so much complex structures going on with some of the warm season grasses. It may not actually pull up a core, but if you just get a hole in the ground, it makes a lot of difference. My cool season grass, this lawn, as you saw in the little excerpt that I put, took a core out. That is ideal if you can. There again, probably has a little bit more to do with the moisture content of that soil of it actually penetrating as deep as it can. Any type of hole is going to help cores better, in my opinion. So there's that. I'm gonna do mine 2 weeks prior to stress, so I'm probably gonna do mine first week in June. I'm in zone USDA plant hardiness map, always use this. I'm in zone 6. Those of you in zone 7, you might wanna do it probably around Memorial Day. 8, probably about mid-May. 9, 10, you probably need to do it early May. just before the onset of early stress. There again, I try to put these videos out so where you have time to get your ducks in a row, get everything ordered in and brought in so you're good to go with what you need to do. So that is aerification, and I cannot tell you how important it is. It is going to be, there again, the best 110 bucks you spent, and do it because it's going to make a lot of difference in your yard. And yes, you can do it in the spring, late summer. Not a bad move for you warm season grass guys. Try to do it. It's probably within that, probably at least 3, I'm gonna say 4 weeks prior to dormancy. You don't want that soil opened up going in. You want it closed back up so it doesn't get too cold in that soil temperature, that crown. I doubt it'll hurt, but I've never aerified warm season grasses too late into the year. So, but cool season grass guys, definitely. If you can do this just during your fall fertilization, talked about that in this video, good time to do it. Twice a year is ideal, at least once. So anyway, I'm agronomist Greg Phillips giving you the best advice that I could possibly give. If you're going to do one thing to your lawn, this is it, other than at late season fertilization on cool season grasses. So anyway, I hope this video helps. Thanks for watching.